I did have something else planned for today. It was supposed to be an opinion piece on what happened in IndyCar with the whole disqualifying Penske because of the push to pass thing, but as the DMs on my phone will attest, there's something else happening at the minute. Adrian Newey apparently wants out of Red Bull. I say apparently because of things we'll get to in a minute, so at the time of writing, nothing is set in stone. So we are merely humouring a rumour on this one, so let's get that bit out of the way before we do anything else. It's one of those breaking news things that everybody will go, source? It's only been reported in one place and not happening. But when it comes from places that are usually pretty solid instead of clickbait articles are us, then you have to take it somewhat seriously. So when it was announced, it was like, oh, what? Well, that's interesting. So if there are comments complaining that it's not been set in stone, nothing's been confirmed, why are you reporting this as if it is happening? I know. That's why this series is called Humour the F***ing Rumour. So why this shock news, this breaking news, this huge if true moment? Well, it's all to do with the wider Red Bull issues that are rumoured to be bubbling away under the surface. All stuff that I briefly touched upon in the last video regarding Ricciardo and the rumoured amount of limited time he's on. And actually, now might be the first time that this whole thing will get more than just a fleeting mention, given how messed up and complex this situation is. And because, as well, it's quite a sensitive issue too. Without delving too much into the he said, she said stuff, this is just a general overview and recap. This is all alleged, and this is pretty much all we know so far. Earlier this year, back in February, Red Bull Racing boss Christian Horner was accused by a female employee of misconduct, as he was allegedly sending messages that contained, quote, inappropriate and controlling behaviour to her, and those messages were then leaked in a massive dump into the inboxes of the other team principals and prominent journalists in the paddock. Just in the interests of legality, fairness, balance and all that other stuff, Horner has categorically denied these allegations. For those of you that can't or won't listen properly, I am not saying for any moment that he is guilty, or innocent for that matter. In fact, he's only innocent until he is proven guilty. I really can't believe I have to explain this. Red Bull then did its own internal investigation which cleared Horner of any wrongdoing, and the female employee in question was then suspended on full pay. But now she's appealing, and we're waiting on what comes of all of that. Which then brings us back to the wider picture of what all of this is causing within Red Bull, and to the speculation about Adrian Newey. The Thai side of the company likes Horner and wants him to stay. The Austrian side doesn't and wants him gone, with the Austrian side including Helmut Marko. On top of this, Marko and the Verstappens are very close, and the rumours are that the Verstappens have only loyalty to Marko and not to Horner. And the belief is that if Marko leaves Red Bull, then the Verstappens will soon follow. Verstappen, in turn, is being courted by Mercedes right now, and the whole Verstappen to Mercedes to replace Hamilton thing is a hot topic at the minute. And if Verstappen goes from Red Bull, that's going to be a massive loss because of how popular Verstappen is right now in Formula 1. Where would he go? I don't know. Be great if he went to IndyCar, but it's more likely he'll do this sim racer to GT3 Pro thing that he's got going on at the minute, or maybe do Le Mans with his dad. So in the midst of all of this is Newey. Sources for the BBC inside Red Bull have said that the decision is because of the power struggle within the team and all the uncertainty and stuff that's currently going on with Horner. Newey said to Autocar last year that he values a calm atmosphere, and at the minute, doesn't seem like there is one at Red Bull. But it is no secret that Newey is a huge advantage to any team. He won several titles at Williams. He won a drivers and constructors double with McLaren in 1998 and another drivers with McLaren in 1999. He joined Red Bull in 2006 and won 4 doubles between 2010 and 2013 and is now winning again with the switch to ground effect. So it's clear this guy knows what he's doing when it comes to designing cars. Under Newey, cars like the Williams FW14B, 15C and 18 were designed, as well as the McLaren MP413 which had that innovative second brake pedal, and then the blown diffuser Red Bulls that were F1's equivalent to the A10 Gatling gun that goes So if the designer that's the equivalent of that kid that everybody wanted on their team while playing football in the playground, well, leaves the dominant team, then that's going to have everybody else circling like the proverbial vultures or the proverbial piranhas. And because only the top 3 individuals aside from the drivers at a team are covered by the cost cap, a blank check is all anybody will need. Are exempt from the cost cap is what I meant to say. I really need to learn how to write. The one team that Newey has been linked to is Aston Martin. Aston is in the process of entering the World Endurance Championship with its own Valkyrie hypercar, and Newey was part of the design team that worked on the utterly mental road-going version, along with Miles Nürnberger. One of the pre-production codenames for the car was Nebula, which is a mix of Newey, Bull and Aston. Nebula. And then it became the AMRB001, which showed the connection between Red Bull and Aston Martin, because when that car was in development, Aston Martin was the title sponsor of Red Bull. They then named it Valkyrie because A, Valkyrie is a cool name, and B, Aston Martins are typically named something beginning with V, like Vantage or whatever. But Aston Martin has come out and said that they're not looking for Newey at this particular point in time. But that was more to do with the Formula 1 side, because some of Newey's protégés are currently at Aston Martin, and bringing him back wouldn't be productive. Dan Fallows is one of them. He used to work at Red Bull. He's now at Aston Martin. Like I say, they probably don't want to go through all of that again. But the one that a lot of people are huffing the copium for is for him to go to Ferrari and team up with Lewis Hamilton. Newey has said in the past that he would like to work with Lewis before they both leave Formula 1, and it's like a two-pronged attack of copium, because you've got Lewis fans and Ferrari fans both on it. A Ferrari designed by Newey, driven by Hamilton and Leclerc. And if Frederic Vasseur pulls that off, he's going to look like an absolute genius. And if Ferrari are as far ahead with 2026 development as has been claimed, and if it is as much of an engine formula in 2026 as claimed, some Newey Dynamics TM and a powerful engine would, at least on paper, be a winning combo. And then Leclerc might actually win some races. What? And again, can't believe I have to say this, that's a joke. There's no need to be upset. But it has to be said that there is some caution to be exercised with the excitement of Newey potentially ending up in red. Having Adrian Newey on your team isn't a guarantee of success. He joined the team in 2006. It wasn't until 2009 they started winning races. In 2008, the Newey-designed Red Bull was beaten in the Constructors' Championship by Toro Rosso, which was supposed to be the feeder team. There's also the stuff surrounding contracts, because there is something called gardening leave. Gardening leave is a term used in Britain when people move between jobs that carry a lot of sensitive data, or move to another company within the same industry. The idea is that you join another company, but officially you can't work for that company because you know too much. While taking blueprints to another team is against Formula 1 rules, you can't police an idea. It's called gardening leave because in the however long you're not allowed to work for your new employer, you might as well get the gardening done. So basically, making sure that Newey can't work somewhere else immediately means that by the time he arrives, his ideas are 12 months out of date. It means that the rival company, team or whatever doesn't immediately get a leg up. Just as a non-Formula 1 example, I know somebody that used to work in insurance. She left one company and went to another, and the company that she left put her on gardening leave for, it was a long time. I think it was about, 14 months or something like that. It was just over a year, because the hope was that she wouldn't take all of her clients to the new company when those clients could be paying money to the company that she just left. I think they wanted to sort of have their policies renewed and that kind of thing, but it's something that happens, not just in Formula 1. Now, here's where it starts to fall apart for those getting excited. Red Bull has been very clear in saying that Newey's contract runs out at least at the end of 2025. So if he was to quit on Red Bull now, he's going to have the rest of the season off, then 2025 off, and then coming for 2026, which would hurt any other team he goes to because he won't be able to have any input on the 2026 machinery. But if Red Bull was to say, well, you're under contract until the end of 2025, he's not going anywhere until 2027 at least. That is, unless he manages to pull something off that circumvents those contracts or negotiates a shorter gardening leave period. But there is a third option that I think a lot of people haven't really considered. Instead of moving to Silverstone or Maranello, he doesn't go anywhere. Basically, he retires and lives on his yacht in the Med. Any full-on F1 designing work is over forever, and he just gets paid his opinions every so often for doing some consultancy work. The guy is 65 years old, he's going to be getting his bus pass soon, and while Newey could stick around for a lot longer than most in Formula 1, he could just sit on his boat and then do something mental like a solo circumnavigation or whatever. He's got nothing to prove. He's earned his retirement, and Formula 1 enters a Newey-less world. Newey is known as being apolitical and doesn't want to deal with any BS in the background. He just wants to be creative. And that's it. He left Williams because of internal issues, something about him wanting something higher up the ladder but never could have that job higher up the ladder because the guy who was already in that position was a shareholder of the team. So he went to McLaren, a job he was almost instantly fired from because he dared to put some colour on the wall of his office, which was against Ron's regulations. Then after a few years at McLaren, where in the middle there was something going on with Jaguar boss Bobby Rahal almost prying him from Woking, he then moved to Red Bull after David Coulthard convinced Red Bull to sign him. And actually, while we're on the subject, during 2004 there were very strong rumours, much like now, that Newey could be leaving McLaren, but these were denied by McLaren at the time, much like these ones have been denied by Red Bull. Through the winter of 2004 into 2005, those rumours persisted, and McLaren went, well, we've just extended his contract by 6 months, so he's clearly not leaving, only for Newey to sign for Red Bull in late 2005 for about $10 million at the time. And this is why this is going down as humour the rumour. Red Bull has come out and said that Newey's contract is up at the end of 2025 and they are unaware of him joining any other team. Now this could be truth, this could be just trying to bury those rumours, you never know. Now I'm not for a second saying this is actually happening, this is just wait and see, and I just give you what's happening, see multiple sides of the argument and then let you argue about it in the comments. I'm looking at this as if, well okay, let's assume this is happening, what could this mean? So, I like doing that kind of thing. It's kind of like a, ooh, alright, let's go. Don't know why I said that. The difference is, compared to something like the Susie Wolf stuff I looked at just before Christmas, this is carrying a lot more weight to it because of all the other stuff that's happening in the background. But could Newey actually leave Red Bull and set off this massive grenade behind him that kicks off a load of other people leaving because of what's happening internally right now? Well, I mean, I'd rather have stuff like this than something completely made up like was made up about Susie Wolf, put it that way. So then, my reaction to the prospect of Adrian Newey leaving Red Bull. Well, potentially leaving Red Bull. I might even put a posed shock face on the thumbnail, I don't know. But anyway, this thing has happened and this has been my opinion on the thing. If this thing has made you think things about the thing, then like this thing so I know a good job was done. And for more things like this, hit the subscribe button thing and ring the bell thing so you never miss out on any thing that I do around here. Massive thanks to the fab lads at Patreon that support the channel at a more personal level. If you want to support me at a more personal level, then a link to Patreon is in the description, along with links to Discord, socials, and other bits and bobs that you might want or need to know. Well, there's memberships and super thanks if that's more your thing. So if you just want to buy me a coffee through a super thanks, you're more than welcome to. So until next time, I've been Millward. Have a great day wherever you are, and goodbye.